Hola a todos, hoy tenemos otro programa de A Golpes, la sección que tenemos tanto en Power Magazine como aquí en Twitch como en Spotify para hablar de baterías, y contamos con el que podríamos denominar a día de hoy el mejor batería del mundo. Tiene 30 añitos y él solo se lo ha ganado con la intensidad con la que toca, con la potencia ya no solo en cada concierto, sino en cada vídeo en el que se le ve tocando. Y es que cada vez que hemos hablado con alguien de él le definen como una bestia. No me voy a enrollar más. Voy a saludar aquí a nuestro compañero Diego Solana, que le tenemos por aquí, y a Eloy Casagrande. Hello, Eloy.
Hola, ¿cómo están mis amigos?
Now here, I was saying that you are nowadays the best drummer in the world. So I think it's
I'm
the best
not, man.
presentation, the best introduction I could.
No, I'm not, man. You were lying. But but thank you for that. I only play what I like to play. I only do what I like to do, and I don't consider myself as being the best drummer. I'm just being honest and transparent with my art, the way that I play, and that's it.
How do you deal with this kind of, I don't know if it's comparison or with rankings of drummers when people says you are the best in the world? How do you deal with it?
Man, I don't like this kind of stuff because we don't need to have like a comparison in the music world. It's not fair. You cannot compare art or musicians or albums. You have your favorite artist, you have your favorite band. I have my favorite artist, my favorite band, my favorite drummer, my favorite book, and that's something personal. So it's impossible to put everybody on a list, or to determine like you are the first, you are the second, you are the third. That's impossible. So that's the reason that I don't like this type of comparisons, and I try to be like aware of that, to don't make part of those comparisons. I never do comparisons between any musicians. I just respect them. I have, of course, I have my preferences. There are some musicians that I like more than others, but that's something totally personal. That's my problem.
And what's your problem? Who are your favorite musicians, your favorite bands, and everything?
Man, it's so difficult to tell you because I'm always listening to new stuff. But I started to play the drums because of Black Sabbath. So maybe that's my heart's band. That's my number one band. When I have to think like about only one band, Black Sabbath is the first that comes to my mind. And of course, Bill Ward, the drummer, Vinny Appice. I love those guys, man. They play so heavy. They are so musical. Like especially Bill Ward playing like na jazz, like jazzy stuff. These guys were magical, and that's it, man. Like out of the metal world, I really like Vinny Colaiuta. He's my number one. Vinny, he's like the best. He can play like anything that he wants to play. He can play with Megadeth, with Sting, with Frank Zappa, and whatever, man. But yeah, that's it. That's what comes to my mind first.
We were talking before starting the interview, and you said that you always plays very intense, in a very powerful drumming. Have you tried sometime to play a little bit, turning down your own volume?
Yes, man. Sometimes I try to play in a softer way, but it's really difficult for me. I started playing the drums, learning Brazilian rhythms like bossa nova, samba, baião, and these rhythms you have to play in a soft dynamic, and it's so tough for me, so difficult for me. I cannot play good. I cannot play well. I'm gonna sound like shit. I'm gonna sound bad if I try to play like in a low volume. But I do my best when I need to play in a low volume. But since I'm playing Sepultura, that's a very energetic band that you have to like really give everything that you have. like the more power I put into the music, it's better. It's gonna sound better. The music itself, it's not beautiful. It's aggressive. It has a lot of questions inside our songs. So that's the reason why I try to be really energetic, like to play with high volume, to put everything that I have in every song that I play.
So sometimes musicians, when they get offered a gig, it's sometimes a challenge for them because they have to step out of their comfort zone. For you, it was more like the other way around. It was more like, oh, thank God I got this. I got this gig because it's gonna make it easier for me, no?
Yes, man, you are right. Like when the guys invited me to do an audition in Sepultura, I was like, that's everything that I need. Before I joined Sepultura, I was playing in Brazil with 6 different bands. Like I had like pop band, like hard rock band, 2 metal bands. Like I was doing some how do you say it, like hired gun stuff, like hired gun jobs. Like I was playing country music, recording a lot of country music records in Brazil. And in some of those occasions, I was not allowed to play loud. And some producers, they didn't like me anymore because I couldn't play soft, So I lost a lot of jobs because I couldn't play soft in a soft way. But when Sepultura called me, I was like, okay, I'm done. Now I don't have any more to play soft.
And as you said, Sepultura fits perfect for you. And since you arrived to the band, the way of the drums have become a little bit more complicated because your compositions are in another direction. If you compare, for example, with the first albums, which are very direct and powerful. How have you felt this change of style of the drumming of Sepultura, and do you have some time to stop yourself when you are writing the drums? Not to.
Sorry, I didn't understand the last question.
The last question is.
So if you have to like to push,
to make it simple,
to push a bit down your to make it simpler, to push down on your creativity.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah, man. Actually, when I am at home, that I'm not touring, I'm not playing with the band, I like to be in contact with the drums almost every day. That's something that I really like to do. And I never stop studying, practicing, So I'm always like finding something new to play, to try, and to study, and to start from zero, from scratches. So like thinking that way and living like that, I'm always changing my way of playing. So everything that I played yesterday, for me, it doesn't make any more sense because I got tired from that, Always when I'm gonna play a live show and I have to play like the same songs, I always try to change those songs because I get bored of playing the same thing like every day. I get tired of being myself every day. I was like, oh, that's me again playing the drums. Fuck it, this kind of stuff. So I'm always trying to reinvent myself, to be someone different. So that's the reason why I'm putting like a complicated stuff inside Sepultura music. But for me, it's not complicated because that's something that I'm always studying, and that's natural for me nowadays. The most difficult part for me, I think it's the physical aspect to playing Sepultura, because I'm playing like difficult stuff, but I also need to keep the energy, the energy very high, in a high level. And that's it. And sometimes, yes, I need to bring down a little bit, to dry a little bit the situation. And especially when we work with producers like Jens Bogren, he always telling me like, Eloy, that's too much, man. We need a simple part for the, some simple drums for that part. And I totally understand, because sometimes I'm being selfish. I want to show all my techniques, all this stuff that I have been studying. And sometimes it doesn't make sense for the song. And I have no problem to admit that. Sometimes, yes, I'm selfish and I had to deconstruct my drums and to do something different for the music.
And what is it you're studying now, and what can we expect creatively from Eloy?
Good question, man. Man, I was studying like some different groupments of notes. In the past, I used it to study a lot of quintuplets and seventuplets, this kind of divisions. And if I bring those those patterns of quintuplets into 16th notes and into third notes, so triplets. But so I try to bring like patterns of 5 and 7 inside the 16th notes and inside the triplets. That's it. What I'm practicing right now. I don't know if you were able to understand that, or if
totally.
I could explain it like you know.
Oh no, don't worry. This is a show for drummers, so they have to know about just a bit of a drum. And how difficult is it when you are studying and that kind of stuff, as you said, to introduce it to the compositions of a band like Sepultura, which metal band used to be 4/4,
Man, the first step is to introduce that for me, because what I'm studying, it needs to be like very automatic for me. I don't want to show them something that is not like sounding like natural or musical yet. So I have to study a lot to develop what I want in a musical way. So it takes time for me, like 6 months to 1 year, to develop something new, something different. And then when I show to the guys, I hope that they understand and they like it. I'm always like, oh, please, that they understand and they like what I'm doing. But something cool about Sepultura is that they never wanted me to be like a different drummer, or to be like Igor, or to be like Jean. They always wanted me to be like Eloy, and that's it. So they didn't like call me to play like the old drummers. But they call me to for me, so I could be me. That's the main point. And I'm gonna give you an example. From the album Machine Messiah, there is a song called Aletheia. That's a song in 4/4, but it's all divided into quintuplets. So it's like the 5 inside the 4. Yeah. So when I showed to the guys for the first time that kind of groove, like the 1, 2, 3, 4, the guys, they couldn't understand that, and we were trying to compose a song together. And Andreas, he's like, man, stop doing that, man. It's not gonna work. We are a metal band, and what you were trying to bring like something for nerds, and we don't want this kind of stuff in our music. And he left the studio like bye. I'm done with that. And after 2 days, that was on a Friday. After 2 days on a Monday, we had another rehearsal. So he came back. He was like, hey, Eloy, I think I found a riff for your groove, your quintuplet groove. So let's play it. Yeah, I was like, yes.
Yeah. I remember listening to that part. To be completely frank with you, and please don't take this lightly. I'm being completely honest. I became a fan of Sepultura after listening to Machine Messiah. I think it's your best album. In my opinion, it's Sepultura's best album, but maybe because because I'm younger and I got into Sepultura older or whatever. And I think it was that originality of listening to something different in metal and not these 16th note triplets at 360 BPM being played. No, I think it was this musicality and this originality. So yeah, I think that's one of the greatest assets that Sepultura has. The other one, I think is this, and I wanted to ask you again about how you were brought up as a traditional Brazilian percussionist. You were talking about how you played samba, bayo, bossa nova, etc. Did you find before Sepultura any other places where you could combine your two natures, your Brazilian nature and your pure extreme metal nature?
Actually, not in a band, because since I started playing the drums so like early, so young. All over those years, I was practicing like Brazilian rhythms, but at 13, 14 years old, I really started to study metal music, like to play double bass. So like Brazilian music and metal and rock for me, they were always like in contact, you know. I cannot like separate myself. Now I'm gonna only play metal, and now I'm gonna only play Brazilian music. No, I'm only one thing. So, but when I started to play Sepultura, that was like, okay, I found myself in a good place, because I can only be what I want to be. You know, I can be myself 100%, and the guys, they respect that, and that was it, man. I think like that's like the best place that I could be, to combine like both worlds of the and the metal world.
Oh,
And,
cool.
and I have to say that the other guys think the same, because I was talking with Andreas Kisser a few days ago, and when I asked about, we were talking about you and your drumming and the differences between the previous drummers and you, and he told you are the best person for that, for the drums of Sepultura, and he also said that you are the best drummer in the world. So now you have a problem also with Andreas.
No, but he doesn't count.
And a part of Sepultura, I've been watching on Instagram and sometimes on Facebook, on YouTube. You've been working with more bands, like for example The Last International, and you also have became very popular the last months because of your Slipknot cover of the Heretic Anthem and the Metallica covers of Dire Thief and Battery. Nowadays, when the social media is very important to grow up as a musician, and how does the social media helps you, and how does this kind of covers helps to you to become more popular on Instagram or Facebook or whatever?
Man, good question. That's a very delicate situation that we are living inside the social medias. You know, until I do the Slipknot cover for the People We Call Shit. That was my first cover that I ever did on the internet. I was really fighting against that, you know, because I didn't want to become like the guy from the Instagram or the dude from the Facebook or whatever. I respect all the musicians, all the drummers, the people that live for the social medias, but I really enjoy the reality, you know, to be here, you know, in the present moment where I live. And I love like to listen to live music, to watch a show, to listen to the whole album. So I was always afraid a little bit of the social medias, and because we are like transforming into slaves. You know, like everybody has to work nowadays for the social medias. Like you can be like a independent musician, you can have your own career, but like the social medias, they are on top of the whole society. They are controlling us, and I think it's not fair that they can control also our art, what I am, what I want to do. So that was something that I was always fighting against. But at some point, you know, during the pandemic last year, I had nothing to do. I believe that I had played all the Sepultura songs on the internet already. So I was like, come on, I'm gonna play a cover that really makes sense for me, something that I really like. So then I decided to record some covers like the Slipknot, Phil Collins, Metallica, this kind of stuff, you know, and that was it, man. But what I try to do is really to be honest with everybody. I'm not playing something that I don't like, or just what I'm being forced to play something that I don't like just to become famous on the internet. No, I'm always trying to be the more natural and transparent that I can.
Yeah, I think you summed it up very well. Your covers, I think the most original thing they have is that they're very honest. Too often you see drummers trying to replicate the original drummer, and it's like, no, I'd rather have the original drummer. And in your case, I think what we found out is that it is that sort of I don't want to call it a dream, no, because I don't think it's a dream, but that imagination of what if Eloy Casagrande played for Metallica, or what if he played for Black Sabbath, or what if he even played for Phil Collins, no? And I think that's the cool thing about it, and that's what makes it viral. What other covers are you thinking of making? And specifically, I'm more interested in knowing if you're interested at all in making any Brazilian music covers.
Man, that's a nice recommendation. I would love to do some Brazilian music, but it's difficult for me, man, to play like samba and baião stuff. Really, I have a problem playing that stuff. First things that the Brazilian musicians, they are very like the natural, like the Brazilian musicians that play Brazilian music, they really like respect our music. And if I try to play it my way, I'm sure that I'm gonna fuck it up. I'm not gonna play like the Brazilian musicians play Brazilian music, and they're gonna get angry with me, and I don't want that, you know. Like
yeah.
And,
Totally.
But I'm really thinking about this like a samba song. Like I don't know. I'm thinking about that yet. But the next cover that I'm gonna do is gonna be from Meshuggah. I'm learning a song. I just finished like a few days ago, but I didn't have time to record it yet. But I'm gonna do it soon, and I'm thinking also to do a death song. And
easy songs.
Yeah, easy songs. But man, to learn the Meshuggah song, that was tough, man. It took me like 1 week to learn the whole song. I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
And
that's it. Yeah.
And I listened in another interview you did that before the tours, you go to your rehearsal room, to your rehearsal room, and you play the whole set list without free share, like in a live experience. Is it true?
Yes, it is, man.
And
when we have a show, like in 10 days, I start practicing at my home studio. Not my home studio, but I have a studio nearby my house. And I go there and I try to simulate the same experience that I'm gonna have on the stage, that I'm gonna have on the show. You know, so if I'm gonna play in a hot city, in a hot place, a hot venue, I turn off the air conditioning so I can simulate the same conditions that I'm gonna do the live show.
Also
or
with
if
the
I'm
lights?
gonna play.
Also with the lights and all that stuff?
No,
Okay.
not with the lights. No, I don't have those many lights inside my practice room, not yet. But also, if we're gonna play in somewhere with a high altitude, in the past I used to wear a mask, where this mask controlled the air that I was breathing. You know, like the quantity that I was breathing the air, and that was it. If I'm gonna play in a cold place, it's the same thing. I'm gonna turn on the air conditioning, like the most powerful way, and I'll be freezing and trying to play the whole set.
And how do you know where you're going? Because you can know the country you're gonna play, but how do you know what temperature the venue is gonna be at, or anything?
No.
Do you ask
sometimes...
the promoter like?
No, I can't see the temperature on my phone before, and if I know it's gonna be like an outside show,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure that I can like prepare myself for the condition. But normally the venues that we play in Europe, they are always really hot. Like I believe you guys are not a big fan of air conditioning inside the venues.
No.
I'm always like sweating. Like, so when I go to Europe, I'm gonna do like the training without the air conditioning.
And what more routines do you have when you are preparing a tour for yourself, as in a physical way and also in a mental way?
Man, like I told you before, I like to go to the gym every day. I practice the drums every day. Like the way that I'm gonna play live, that's how I practice at my home studio. And I really like to read, man. Like you can see these books here behind me. that's something that keeps my mind like kind of normal, to live like where I am right now. And that's my mental preparation, and that's it. I don't do like a mental preparation specifically for the shows. I just go there and I play it, man, and I try to have the biggest fun that I can have, and that's my mental aspect, you know. And also when I go to the stage and I sit on the drums, I'm always trying to play something different. I'm in the middle of the show thinking, okay, now there comes that part, and I'm gonna do something different. It doesn't matter if I'm gonna make it right or if I'm gonna make a mistake. The thing is that I'm doing something new, and that keeps me alive, you know. Sometimes when I try to play a different drum feel or different groove, man, sometimes I screw it up. Like I fuck it up. And the band, the guys look at me and they say, "Man, what you're doing now? I'm sorry, I did a mistake," you know. But when it goes right, man, I feel so good. I feel so alive. It's a way of like challenging me every day, you know. It's like adrenaline for me. Some people they jump from with parachute. Some people they swim, they cross the sea like swimming, and some other people they do some new drum fills during a show. That's the way that I feel adrenaline.
How cool, man. And do you prepare for during on tour? Do you still stay active physically, and how do you warm up? I'm very interested in your warm up, if you do any warm up at all.
Yeah, during the tour, I prefer to don't do like a lot of exercises before the show. It really makes me tired for the time when I'm gonna play. But if we have some days off, yes, on the days off, I like to go to the gym if possible to do some exercises. And my warm up, man, I start at least like 1 hour before the show. Like I have some marching band sticks, those heavier sticks, and I like to practice with them in a pad or in a couch or in a place where I don't have a rebound, you know. So that really helps me to get warmed up. And that's it, man. Like just 1 hour before the show, I start like doing rudiments, paradiddles, and I don't have like a drum pedal on the dressing room, but I like to make to tap my feet on the floor.
And you don't do any physical warm up?
No, just with the drumsticks, and that's it. Drumsticks.
Okay.
But it's very intense. But that's very intense. I simulate that I'm playing on the drums.
Okay.
You know, so I'll be like, I'll be looking I'll be looking like a retarded on the dress. Kind of stuff. So that makes me get on point.
Yeah, totally.
And well, you've been playing drums your whole life, and you won the Modern Drummer Festival in 2006. You've been touring with Sepultura a lot. What would you say it's been your best life experience or your best experience on tour?
Oh man, I think like I had so many great experiences. It's really hard to say like one especially. But man, I remember like the first tour that I did with Sepultura that was very special because it was in Europe, and we were doing the Thrash Classic Fest. That was Sepultura, Exodus, Destruction, and Hidden. And man, and to play with Sepultura, like sharing the stage with Exodus every night, that was something magical. Doing the Rocking Reels with Sepultura, the first Rocking Reel that I did with the band was back in 2012. 2012? Yes, 2013. And we played twice. You know, we played like in both stages of the Rocking Reel. And we recorded a DVD live in Rocking Reel back in 2013. That was like a very special moment. 2015, I had the opportunity to play with Stevie Vai, like was Sepultura plus Stevie Vai in Rocking Reel Las Vegas. So that was a very special moment as well. And man, to share the stage with Metallica, with Iron Maiden, and to know those guys personally. And I can call some of them like my friends today. We became friends. So that's something very special that I never imagined for my life. And I'm very grateful for everything that I live it. And also the Modern Drummer Festival, that was a game changing for my life, definitely. After I played on the festival, I became like a drummer in the universe. The people, they started to know me, to listen to my music, to watch me playing, and that was it, man. A few occasions that comes to my mind.
And how did you? Can you tell us about how your gig with Sepultura came about? Like, how was the process, or did they call you? Did you present yourself for an audition? Tell us about the story.
Okay, back in 2011, I was playing a Brazilian band, a metal Brazilian band called Gloria. It was like a metalcore band here in Brazil, and we played at Rock in Rio in 2011. And Sepultura was playing at the same day. But we had like some problems, not a problem in the festival, but Sepultura played in the small stage, and this band that I was playing with, Gloria, we played in the biggest stage. And all the audience was like, what is happening? Why the festival put like a teenager band to play like in a big stage, in the biggest stage, and put Sepultura to play on a small stage? So me and this band, we went for a fight that year of the festival. You can find on the YouTube, it's Gloria, like Gloria, Gloria, Rock in Rio 2011. And the people, they were like shouting for us to leave the stage, throwing stuff on the stage like bottles, cans, this kind of stuff, like get out of the stage, Gloria. And at the same moment that we were playing, Sepultura started to play on the small stage. We had like shows at the same time. So that year was a big fight, like for like both sides, like the youngest people fighting against the people, the Sepultura fans. And because of that, Sepultura watched me playing with this other band, with Gloria. And after like 1 month of the Rock in Rio, that festival, they called me to do an audition because Jean de la Bella, he was leaving the band. And I went there, I did the audition. I had to play like 10 songs from Sepultura. I had to play like Troops of Doom, Arise, Roots, Rata Mahata, some old stuff like Desperate Cry, this kind of songs, like 10 songs. And after the audition, they were like, yeah, you are in. And I was like, oh, really? Yeah, you are in. And we have to rehearse like for the next 2 weeks because we have a tour in Europe. And I was like, okay, hold on for a bit. The guys they were looking for me like, yeah, because back there I was playing with 6 different bands in Brazil, and I have some contracts with those bands. So and I was like, okay, I really appreciate that, guys, but I need to talk with the other bands and to see what they're gonna do, because I have to tell them that I'm leaving. I'm not playing with them anymore. And the Sepultura guys, they were like, what you were saying? And after when I came home, I told my mom, like, hey mom, I'm in. The guys they said that I went good on the audition, but I have to talk to the other bands. And she was like, what you were doing for your life? Like, forget that and just accept the invitation from Sepultura. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And then I called them. So I said like, okay, I'm in, and doesn't matter what happens with the other bands, I'm playing with you guys. Because I was so like concerned about all those people that I had a deal with, that I couldn't simply like, hey guys, fuck you all, and I'm leaving the band, and I'm now playing with Sepultura. So I always try to be the most professional that I could be.
And you're also a drum teacher. I've seen some videos in your Instagram where you are with your drum. Well, I would say kids, but there are people, old people and young people. How would you define yourself as a teacher?
It works. It works,
Don't talk much.
Yeah, no. Actually, I started giving classes because of the pandemic. because I never had time to have students, And now, like since last year that we were not traveling and I had all my time free at home, I could open some like time to give classes. The first thing that I opened an online course, an online drum teacher thing, and it's running like for now for almost 2 years, and I have like some really good students at my website. We have a lot of fun. I'm every day on computer talking to them and answering some questions. I have more than 100 classes recorded on my website. And I have some like students that I give some classes on my home studio, and I have like 15 to 20 students, and that's it. I only give classes on Tuesdays and on Thursdays. That are only the days that I open for students, and I enjoy that, man. It's really good, like to see people and to help them to become something different, to achieve new goals. And I teach what I know. I don't pretend that I'm gonna be like the best teacher in the world, but I only teach what I like to do, what I play, the stuff that I did to become what I am today. So, and that's it.
Can you tell us something you're teaching now that you're excited about, or a particular book or a particular exercise or something? Just out of curiosity.
Man, I don't know, because all the double bass, like the double bass exercises that I teach to my students, that was stuff that I developed for myself, that they worked for me, So the people, they really want to be fast on the double bass, but they get tired, of like spending so much time practicing that, and like you keep like a simple groove in your hands, like but it really gets you bored, while you said double bass. So I try to find a new solution so my students, they can stud double bass, but they stay really connected with the instrument. So I give them some like paradiddles, double paradiddles, triple paradiddles exercises in the hand, so they keep doing that pattern on their hands, and they keep the double bass like playing at the same time. So that keeps them on focus of like inside the drums, and at the same time they are practicing the double bass. So I really try to find new solutions so that people, they can develop like speed, energy in the kit in an easier way.
Yeah, and you told at the beginning of the interview, you are discovering new music and new bands and a lot every day. And you also said that you don't like a lot the social media, but I want to ask you about the social media and what are you discovering via the social media. But what have you discovered some drummers you like nowadays? Because in Spain, for example, I used to use this example because it's very clear, but El Estepario Siberiano has become very popular here on the social media. So what young drummers or new drummers have you discovered thanks to Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or whatever?
Yeah, man. El Estepario, he's fantastic, man. El Estepario Siberiano. Sometimes I speak to him on the Instagram. We change some messages, and he's so cool, man. He's so nice. He's like, he's so funny.
He's even younger than you. He's even younger than you. He's 25.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The bird like makes him look more older, but he's younger than you. He's 25.
Yeah, he's so young, man, and he's so famous right now. He's so big. Like everywhere that I go, especially here in Brazil, like everybody, El Estepario. He's really famous here, man.
Really?
A few months ago, yes, we tried to do a masterclass with him, because my studio is inside a drum school here in São Paulo, and they have like 15 different teachers in that school. It's a big building. It's a nice place, and we were trying to make some international master classes, bring some people from outside of Brazil to do by internet, And I sent him a message, and he was like, "No, man, I'm very busy with my website. I have like some students, and I cannot do like a masterclass outside of my website." But here in Brazil, we really want to bring him here. When all the pandemic will be over, he's probably coming to Brazil. I'll bring him here to play with us.
Oh, cool.
Ele Stepare, man, he's fantastic. Another, I can tell you some Brazilian dudes, Brazilian guys. There is a guy that his name is Gabrielle Bruce. Gabrielle Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Brazilian guy. He's from Belo Horizonte, or he's from Minas Gerais. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But Gabrielle Bruce, he's playing a different way of like everything that I have ever seen in my life. He's like coming up with different grooves, like mix of Brazilian music, and I don't know, man. He plays in a different way. That's something that doesn't exist like in the world yet. But he's bringing a new way of playing, a new way of talking. You know, Gabrielle Bruce. You can check this guy out. Let me see who else. What's his name? Scott. Oh man, I totally forgot the name of the guy. He's American. Let me see if I find him here. I forgot the name. There's another Brazilian guy that his name is. Man, I'm really bad with names. But
That happened with the previous interview we did for this section. The drummer didn't remember the names of the drummers.
Yeah, me as well. I don't remember some names of the drummers. Justin Scott.
Okay. Justin Scott.
Justin
yes.
Scott. Yes, he's amazing, man. Like he's so I don't know. He's so musical in everything that he plays. Justin Scott. That is unbelievable. I love him.
Yeah, totally. How cool, man.
That's what I can tell you right now because I don't remember any other name.
And as an educator, do you have any references? So not so much as a drummer personally, but as a professor?
Oh man, I can tell you that my biggest influences as teacher were my teachers. You know, the people that I have studied with. And I had 4 different teachers. The first one was Lenilson da Silva. He's a Brazilian drummer that plays samba very well. He's very known on the samba stuff, on the samba world. After I had some classes with a guy called Lauro Lelis. He also is a guy from the Brazilian music stuff. And then I had some classes with Achilles. I studied with Achilles Priester for almost 2 years. So that's how I learned to play metal music, and then that's what the most important time where I developed my double bass drumming. And after that, let me see. My last teacher was Cristiano Rocha. You know this guy, Cristiano Rocha?
I think so.
I believe he did some clinics in Europe. He did some clinics in.
I think so. Yeah,
in Italy.
Okay.
Yeah, he played in Italy like a few years ago. He's always playing in Italy because we have some friends in common, and he goes there all the time. But he's more like a Brazilian drummer as well. But he's fantastic, man. He's so musical, that guy, Cristiano Rocha. So that's the way. These are the guys that they really inspire me to be a teacher. You know, I got some of their thoughts, their way of teaching, and I combined those ways. And it's how I became a teacher.
How cool, man. Well, Eloy, I have one last question for you, and it's related again to your way of playing and everything. How much more expensive is Eloy Casagrande for his sponsors than any other drummer in terms of breaking stuff?
Man, that's something that I really try to don't think. I don't think about that, man. or I will go crazy, you know. And that's something curious because I never spoke to my sponsors, and I never asked them if I'm being like expensive for them. Like that's something that we never talked about, and they have been really like classy because they also never told me about that as well. But I'm almost sure that I might be the most expensive drummer, like sponsored person for them, as I'm almost sure about that.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, carry on.
Because I see some drummers that at the end of the show, they grab like a pack of drumsticks and they throw to the audience like 12 sticks, like 15 pairs, 20 pairs. And I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? Because all the drumsticks that I got from my sponsor, I use them all. And I'm always like missing drumsticks. I always need more drumsticks. When I'm studying, I use like one pair a day, like one pair or two pairs a day, like breaking the sticks when I'm studying. In a show, something like that, 2 or 3 pairs a show, only by playing. So I don't have drumsticks to give to the audience, like to throw to the people, So when I see some drummers like throwing drumsticks, like, no, man, don't do it, man. It's like, give it to me. Give those drumsticks to me.
I saw you, I think it was a few months ago, buying or getting the Paiste, the Formula 602. And I was just only thinking, like, those poor cymbals, they're going to suffer so much.
Man, but let me tell you, I have been using Formula 602 for a while now. Like makes like 3 years, 4 years that I have been using that line, and they last longer than the Rude one, and the Rude and then the 2002s. Yes, man, because I believe by the fact they are like more flexible, they can really accept more like the power. They really, how can I tell you? But they absorb the energy when you really hit them hard. And when you hit like a root cymbal very hard, it's not flexible, so it breaks easily.
Okay.
So I must buy them then.
Yeah, man, they're fantastic. I love those cymbals, and they last longer than the root ones.
So well,
Great,
now the last question of the interview. How many cymbals, drumsticks, and drum heads do you break per month or per week, if you have a count?
Man, I think that I spend like 150 pairs a year or 200 pairs a year. That's like something normal for me, or even more. Like in some years that we had like long tours, we had like 4 or 5 tours in the year. I used to spend like 250 pairs of drumsticks a year. That was a good number. That was a lot. And cymbals, I'm not sure. It depends a lot in what I'm playing. But when I go on tour, I ask, like, if we have like 25 shows, 30 shows, I need at least like 20 crash cymbals to go on tour. Like, 20 crash cymbals. I ask like 3 or 4 of each one, so I can have a lot of spares. But that's a lot of material, man. I break a lot of stuff. Like, let me be honest with you. And drum heads, I have no idea, man. Actually, my sponsors, they are really good with me, and they never gave me like a limit of stuff, like the stuff that I ask for them. But I try to have like a good mind. I only ask for them if I'm gonna use it and if I need some new stuff. I'm not gonna ask them some stuff like just to save or to keep at my house or to sell. No, everything that I get from them, it's something that I'm gonna use, and I'm always being really honest with them.
Okay, so well,
and also, yeah. Let me just finish. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And also, they respect the way that I play. If I write them like, man, I need more drumsticks, I'm breaking stuff, they never like answered me back like, hey, Eloy, you need to play softer, you're breaking too much stuff. No, they really respect the way that I play, and that's it. I'm really grateful for that.
Well, I guess your sponsors have seen or watched your videos playing, so they used to know that you will break a lot of stuff with so much energy. Well, Eloy, thank you very much for your time, and thank you to your sponsors for all the material they gave you. You have a tour here in Europe. I mean, I'm not sure if in November or December, but you will be playing, if everything goes well, fingers crossed, here in Spain in some dates. So both Diego and me hope to see you here, and if we can drink some beers or water or whatever, hope to see you here. And well, do you have a final message for the Spanish fans, and well, for the worldwide fans, and for your fans of your drumming?
Sure, man. Yeah, I really want to go to Europe again to play in Spain. It makes a long time that we don't play in there since we are living the pandemic, and I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to be in November in Europe. It's confirmed by now, but Brazilians, we cannot travel to Europe. You know, we're not allowed to enter the countries. You know, so that's a problem for us.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take my vaccine, my first shot, at the end of this week, so I should be good to go until November. You know, but we never know what's gonna happen. But we really miss our European fans, our audience in there. We love all the countries, and Spain is one of our favorites for sure. We love to play there. Like, everybody's so cool, the food is so good, the beer is so nice, the weather is so perfect, and we love
it's
that.
38 degrees out here, not so perfect right now.
Yeah, that's really hot. That's really
not so
hot.
perfect.
Brazil's not different, let me tell you.
Yeah, I guess I guess we are almost the same.
Yeah, but man, I'm gonna send a message to all my fans, like to all the drummers, that you guys keep doing what you like to do, what you want to do. You know, don't think too much about the likes and the views on your videos. Don't think too much about numbers, because that's nothing to do about music. You know, when you do something like for real, your art will find a way to get the audience. The people are gonna find you. Of course, you need to show what you do to the world, but don't be like so concerned about numbers and followers and that kind of shit. You know, forget about that for a moment, and just think and focus on your music and what you like to do.
Perfect. So again, Eloy, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure for me, and I'm quite sure that also for Diego. And again, hope to see you here very soon this year.
Yeah, man. Thank you for your time. Thank you for invitation as well. It was a nice talk, and see you soon, hopefully.
Yep.
See you soon, Eloy.
So thank you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.